What's up guys, this is Ferrid or Reese, and we'll come back for step 2 in this video, and that's going to be UV mapping and texturing. Sorry, mine went blank. So here we go. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't actually round off the edges in my last video. Do I do that or not? Okay, you know what, we will. So what I will do is I'll grab all the edges I wish to round off. Oh, what am I doing? Actually, no, you know what, we won't worry. That's just going to cause more bother. And what I will do is I will actually rotate this, because this is actually the back now. So rotate that round 180 degrees, lift that up a bit. Now we're on the front. So, UV mapping. So I've already done a tutorial on this, so if you want to learn the basics of this, it's best to watch that tutorial first. So grab up the UV, then open the UV editor, bring that aside. Something about there will do, and then extend that. Make the most of our viewport. And then what I'll do is I'll come up to polygons, I'll click on the mesh and go to delete UVs, and then hit these two buttons, so the checkerboard and this filler, whatever that is. Yeah, and then what we can do is grab all the faces on the top, go up to UV, planar, but click the little box and this comes up, and we want a planar Y. And then what that will do is that will create a UV specifically on this axis. And then what I usually do is I usually come to the channel box as well straight after that, and you've got projection width and height. I usually keep these the same, so if I put those to 20, and whatever I UV now will be 20 width and height. Actually, not. That's no, I'll do 30, and you'll see why in a sec. There we go, and then just shift that to the top. And what we're wanting to look for is these nice squares, which is looking nice so far. So let's go to the back and do the same, and then hit Y. That's all good, but the thing is it's inverted, it's flipped. So what we can do is we can come here, set that to 30, and then drag that up here, and then go to either one or two of these tools, but I usually like horizontal, so that flips it and then they turn blue. So blue's good, red's not. There we go. So now we've got the top and the bottom, we can work about the side, and we have got this indent here as well. So what shall we do? I'm just thinking, is it easier to attach these? Because I can do it really quickly. If I just show you sort of how I would do it quickly. I mean, the detail doesn't wrap round, which is fine. So that's one side. So if we go on to planar Z and then apply, we've got that. And then again, 30. Hit Y and just move that down. We'll do the same with the other side. I'm not sure if that's X or Y there. What we'll do is we'll do that as well, and I'll show you a little trick which comes nicely. So click Z as well, come to 30. Oops. 30 for both. And then bring it down, and as you can see it's red, so we can flip it. And then, because I'm unsure whether this was X or Y, it's in between the two, it's not going to be a perfect square. Look at the size or the distance of these squares compared to this one. So what we can do is we can now smooth that out. We can right click on or hover over our UV editor, right click the UV tool. Which one is the top one, wasn't it? No, the bottom one, sorry. So click all the vertexes on this one shape, come up to tool, smooth UV, and then where it says unfold, click on that and then drag to the right. Yeah? And keep doing that, just keep doing it, and then as you can see that they're all nice and smooth now. They're all equal. So that's a little tip to do. And then to get out of this, you just have to click selection. Yeah? Because if you don't, it won't let you do anything. So we can come back to shell. We can possibly... We've done that side, done this side. Let's do this side now. So we can grab... What's happening here? Oh yeah, sorry. No. Grab these. Yeah, that's fine. Not that one, though, because we just want that one face. Yeah. So this will be x-axis now. grab that one. There we go. So everything apart from these ends here. So we can go 30. No, 30. So not 3. It's going to be really big. Don't have to worry about the size and position of these yet, but we'll get around to that. So this whole base is done. Oh no, I've done something wrong. Just click and shift that, and then just again click Y because they're already because they're already selected. Hit 30, and then bring that down. So it's worth just looking. It's weird being on one screen again. I feel like it's a lot easier with two screens because you'll have the UV editor on one screen and then Maya on the other, and you can see these little details. But I'm sort of missing them at the minute. So right now, what we can do is we can do the same for this one. Click that and then go to X and then 30. Now the reason we keep them all the same is because when we come to sew some stuff together, they're going to need to be the same, otherwise it won't work. So then we can click the ends here, or just the one end, which is the Z axis. Yep, hit 30, and then bring that just next to this. Put them all in the same area, and then we'll do the bottom as well, and that's a Y, and that will need to be flipped as it's red. So flip that horizontally. That's cool. So then what we can do now is we can go to the edge tool and then select the bottom, and what you do is, if you can see both of these light up, is because they can be sewn together. So if I click on that and then come up to the move and sew tool here, it does that, and what that does, the detail then wraps round, which is nicely. So if you slap a brick texture on there, the bricks will wrap round, and that's quite important. And then we'll do the same for this edge here, and so there's one. So then I'm going to quickly speed up and then do the same on the other. So this one is X, go to 30, and then the side, which is Z, again 30, and then we'll do the Z underneath, the Y, sorry. Getting all my words mixed up. I haven't long been up though, so that's probably don't help. There we go. So now we can start sewing. So grab this edge here, sew that together, and then grab this and then sew that together, which is not right because I forgot to invert that. Where is that little... Oh, here it is. So click that, flip, because as you say, because I didn't flip it, it flipped on the inside of my UV, which didn't help. If I do that now, it's on the outside, which is perfect. So everything's fine apart from this last side. And like I said earlier, you can use planar on these, although this is the Z and these are the X. Because it's this just last one, what I can do is I can right click and go to shell, click this last one here, and then go to X axis, go to 30. Now because it's not sort of attached to anything, it's just this long line, do that, flip it, I can come up to my UV tool, select it all, tool, smooth UV, and if I zoom in here, you'll see all this start to change as I unfold it. There we go, and now that's equal. It saves you then doing X, 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 and then two Zs, and then sew them together. You just do one, and then you smooth it out. So that's another little tip that you might be able to use. Maybe give it a go. And what's happening with these? That will be possibly because of the size. Yeah, if I just leave that up, that sort of looks more believable now. I don't know, it just really annoys me. So now we've got the whole thing UV'd. We can... I don't like using layout because it makes the big things big and the small things smaller. That's not too bad. Now, you know what? Don't like that. We'll do it manually. So we'll select both of these, bring it into the dead center. So I can see this is the dead center. And then what I can do is I can size it up until they reach the box. There we are. And move it up. Bring these slightly down. So we've got those in there. And what we can do now is just simply move these up. Rotate these on the side. Grab all those together and we can size those up. There we go. So that's cool. Just bring them down, close the space in a bit. So I feel like I've just started because I'm sort of doing all the things that I started to do when I first begun modelling. Obviously, as time goes on, you sort of learn to keep things more tidy and whatnot. But I feel this is a little bit messy, but it works. So that's the main thing. There we go. So what we can do now is we can hold Shift, hold right click, go to Shell, select all of these polygons, UV snapshot, and we're gonna. Now, usually in a game, it will probably be like a 512 texture. If anything, a bit smaller, depending on how they're made. But I always go up one, as I mentioned in the last tutorial. So I'll keep it at 1024 by 1024, purely just to get the detail. But at least then you can just bring it down to 512 if need be. So I'll go onto the desktop and we'll call it SD card UV. Go to save, and then OK, making sure it's a target. So we can come off the UV snapshot now. We do not need that. And we can open up the old Photoshop. And this is just going to be just some base colours. And I'll show you how I would personally do this. So open, go to our file we've just got, which is SD card UV. And then I convert that to a smart object. Open a new layer. Bring it to the bottom and turn that black. And then I'll rename that BG for the background. And then I'll just call this UV shell. And then I set that to screen. So anything we put in between, we can sort of still see the UV shell on top. So what we'll do is I'll open up that same SD picture. And what we can do is we can pick some colours that we can use. So now we do that. Go onto a new layer, fill that and call that base for base color. What am I doing? That one. And as we can see, this is slightly darker and it's got a lot of grain to it as well. So we might be able to add that as well. So now what we need to do is we need to get this shape created, so we know what's lighter and what's darker. So like I said, it's easier to create your shapes and then create normal maps from them. Easiest way to do it, because we've done it from reference, in Maya, we can bring this in, and I know for a fact that this is the piece we want because it's purely the shape of it. Oops. What we'll do is I will grab the magic wand tool, grab the outside and delete. Oh, balls. I've forgotten the little thing here. Oh well, no matter. It's just this basic modeling tutorial, so it's cool. So what I'll do is I will match that up on the top and the left, and then I'll size it up, size it down, whatever. To match. So yeah, something around there will be fine. Doesn't need to be perfect because you can always adjust it. But then what we'll do is we'll come to our tool here. So you click and hold and you get the rounded rectangle tool. And then what you can do is you can just click and drag down to create this shape. And obviously, as you can see, the rounded edge isn't enough, so we can go to maybe 20. Be really picky and go for 25 then. And I'm happy with that. Yeah, so we can now rasterize this layer. Sorry, what am I doing? Rasterize that one. Fit screen. And now we've got that, we can probably go back to our base and then choose a darker colour. Only slightly though. Something like that. And now we've got that, well, I suppose we can create the shape for the old sticker as well. I'll do this and then we'll just adjust. So again, that'll be sort of the same 25. I'll rasterize that. Lift that above. And then we can start adjusting the width and the height. So that's fine. And the height was fine as well. So that's cool. So now we can call this label. And put that on top, and we'll change that to a black because the label is black. We can hide our SD card for a sec, and we'll call this one light indent, just because I know what it means. Yeah, so that's cool. Take off the UV shell. I think I'm happy with that. Looking at, oops, what am I doing? Lift that. I'm happy with that, and then all I'm going to do now, literally, is add grain, because it's basically just a base colour, and then the specular and whatnot will add onto that. So, grab the light indent. No, sorry, the base, because it's the darker colour we want to do that for. Go up to filter, noise, add noise, and you might be able to just get away with adding a bit. Sorry, I will rasterize layer style, because that's overpowering it. Then go to noise, add noise. Now, the way I usually do it, I know there's a few colours in here, but I usually bring that up a bit, something like that, and then I'll just go to image adjustments, black and white, and then that you sort of got your grainy texture there. And then if you really want, you can come into your curves and you can start making a bit more contrast with it all. But I'm going to leave it as it is for now. That's fine. It's purely for a base. Yeah, so the same on the back. We can import our other image. This might have to be in 2 parts actually for this texturing, because I'm getting on to 17 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll do this last little bit and then I'll finish the rest off, like creating the label and whatnot. So let's get the other picture. Where is it? I cannot find it now, which is brilliant. There it is. And what we want to do is we want to get everything except this area, because this is the back face. Sorry, rasterize that. Delete. Again, just pop that into sort of rough position. And sorry, that didn't work. I've missed a bit. So, there we go. Pop that up, and then so that's fine. That will do. And then what we can do is we can just come into just creating these shapes. They're basic rectangles, so that's fine. So we'll grab one of those, create a new layer, pick whip the colour, and fill that in. And what we can now do is we can just duplicate that and duplicate that again. I'll skip the other middle two purely because I'll just get these done on the same axis, and then I can come back. I will reduce this layer's opacity just so I can see. Yeah, so I'll bring that in, and then I'll just size it up a little bit because it's just a bit higher, and then duplicate that one and then move that over. Yeah, and then probably grab another one from the bottom for the lower ones and then pop that here, so that's slightly wider, slightly shorter. Again, and then just duplicate that, and then we'll just do the same. Just readjust. So that's cool, that's snapped. Do the same. Move it over and then scale. And then that way you got shapes based off a real image. So then we can come and we can select all of these and then right click merge layers. So I can now delete these. Well, I can delete this SD card layer, that's fine. And now we can see we have the basic SD card. And in the next tutorial I'll come on to doing a few little tweaks, maybe obviously the label, and then maybe some extra shapes around here that are going to be needed. So yeah, please like and comment, and I'll see you in the next part. Cheers, peace.